Alice. Hi everyone, let's play the look it while we are waiting, okay? All right. It's the hobby one. Okay, so you see my screen? Yeah? Okay, all right. So let's I see the link. So please show the link here. I see how many has been here. Right, and I will be in as well. Okay, can block it, can? Right. Now, if new member join, then you just occasionally copy the link for them. Yeah, because the new when the new person join, they would be able to see the old chat. Yeah, they only see the one new one. All right, everyone. It's here. Like I see who's has here. We got P is here. Right. So that with Juan. Everyone, yeah, you can join it. Alice, you want to join the game?
Yes.
Only P. Okay.
Ethan.
Hi.
Hi. No,
Sorry, I just woke up.
it's fine. Now would be a good time to join.
Ooh. Okay. I feel like it got throw up.
Oh god, you okay?
No, I may have either COVID or the stomach bug.
Oh shit. Okay, so I'm afraid Ethan won't be joining us today because he's not feeling very well. So it's just me today.
When you want to start, you let me know so I end the game, okay, Nam?
Sure. We have. Okay, we have.
You want it now? You want to
Sure,
start now?
we can start now. We have like 30 people. 30.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Which is enough.
Okay, right. Welcome to section 5, is it? Of our English speech club with host Nam Nguyễn and Ethan Puppy.
Ethan will not be here today. He's not feeling well. And therefore,
so today we only have host Nam with us.
Yep.
Right,
Ethan
and our topic is
hobbies.
hobbies.
Okay, let me. Oh. Pardon me 1 second.
Right, so let I spotlight Nam. Okay, right.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Have you ready to discuss? Right, so if you're ready, can you make sure that your camera is on? Then we will call you. We will unmute for those who is having the camera on, right? And this is the English speech club, so please be active, right? It's not listening, so we love to hear everyone's voice, everyone's opinion. Okay, all right, Nam, you ready? Yes, Nam.
Sorry, my bad. I was muted. Can everyone see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Let me just. Today, the slideshow is going to be quite short. We're primarily focusing on speaking, conversation. So our topic today is hobbies. And so basically a hobby is an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. And so, for example, this picture right here, you have a variety of example of different hobbies. For example, watching TV, going to the movies, playing video games, playing sports, and some hobbies are more, I would say, healthy and more useful than others. But generally, all hobbies are decently fine if you don't spend too much time doing them. I shall go on. So leisure time or free time is time when you don't have to do work, study, or anything like serious, and you can do whatever you want during that time. So usually people pursue their hobby during their free time. And then passion is it's a strong interest in something or someone that you pursue. So moving on, there are different types of hobbies, and here are some examples. So first of all, for example, arts and craft. So arts and craft is basically decorative design and handicraft. An example would be in this picture over here, as you can see. And then another one is sports, which is the Google definition of sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against against another team or others for entertainment. However, personally, the term sports, the meaning of sports can differ from people to people. So Some people may define sports as one thing, and another person may define sports as another thing. And then next we have collecting. So collecting is a hobby that includes seeking, locating, acquiring, organizing, cataloging, displaying, storing, and maintaining items that are of interest to an individual collector. So for collecting, it could be collecting anything. For example, stamp, art, coins, and much more. Some people even collect butterflies, for example. And so collecting is it's a very diverse hobby, and it could range from pretty normal to exotic collections. And then the final example is performing arts. So forms of creative activity that are performed in front of an audience, like drama, music, and dance. We touched on music a couple sessions ago, and we also touched on sport last session. So those are two examples of hobbies. So next, I'm gonna give you an example of. So each type of hobbies, there are much more. There are more, I would say, part of it. So for example, arts and craft, there are multiple things you can do with art and craft. So here are some examples. And first, we have animation, which is basically a technique of photographing successive drawing or positions of either puppet or models to create an illusion of movement when the film is shown as a sequence. So for example, down here, this picture, if you show this picture in a sequence, it would look like basically a video of this character walking. So that's animation. And then next after that, we have filmmaking, which is the process by which a motion picture is produced. So filmmaking, another one I didn't include in part of this, but it could be related to filmmaking. I would say is photography. So taking pictures of many things, and photography, you can photograph a variety of things. I would say photography is it's a hobby that you have a lot of freedom in, because you can choose to basically photograph anything you like. And then finally, in arts and craft, you have pottery, which is making or crafting an object. It could be dishes, it could be vases, and it's generally made out of clay. And then you would bake it, and then bake it to make it harden, and then you could decorate it. You could paint on it, you could carve something, etc. It's there's a lot of things you can do with pottery. And then some other vocabs. So relating to collecting. So a collection is a group of accumulated items of a particular kind. And then when a hobby starts going negatively is when it develops into an obsession. So something that continually preoccupies or intrude a person's mind. And generally that's not healthy, because if you're obsessed with something, it distracts you from doing other things that could be potentially more important. It could be you could be obsessed with let's say work, and then you ignore your social life, your health, and things like that. It's not healthy. And so basically that's the end of the slides I have. This is just to give you an example of how hobbies can have multiple aspects to them. And now I will open it up for conversation. So first of all, does anyone have any question they want to ask me? Just raise your hand and I'll call on you. Anyone at all? Okay. And if no one have a question for me, I will if no one have a question for me, I will. Oh, okay.
My question is, what is your hobby?
What is
And
my
do you do that hobby often?
what is my hobby? Okay, I have quite let's see, let me move back. I have quite not quite different, a lot of hobbies. So let's take a look at this picture, for example. Some of the hobbies on here I like to do, for example, watching TV, playing video games. I kind of like to read as well. I really love going out with my friends. I wouldn't say playing sport is one of my hobby though. As well, playing video games here, it's just not I like playing video games, but it's also other type of games, like for example tabletop games and such. And so those are some example of hobbies I have. I hope that answers your question.
So do you do your hobby often?
Yes, I generally do them if I have free time ever, but nowadays not as often because I'm kind of busy these days. But yeah, I do them in my free time. Right. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Just raise your hand. Yeah. Yep. You have a question?
Yes, so have you ever collect something for hobby?
Wait 1 second. One second. Your volume is quite low. Can you repeat that for me?
Have you ever collect something for hobby?
Collect something for a hobby. I think as a child I might have started collecting stuff for a hobby, but I don't remember what I collected. And usually it's very short-lived. So I wouldn't say that collecting is a hobby I have currently.
Collect cards.
According to my mom, I used to collect cards for different type of games. But I don't remember that and I don't do it anymore. So it's no longer a hobby. And yes, you can you can potentially grow out of a hobby, or just it stops just an activity, just stop being your hobby. I hope that answered your question. Okay, now next, Huimin.
What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby. That's a very difficult question because I don't have a singular most favorite hobby, but I would say maybe going out with my friends or playing different type of games. I would say that those are two examples of my most favorite hobbies. Okay, next. Alice, you have a question?
Do you obsess with your hobbies?
Am I obsessed with my hobby? No, I am not. Generally, I am not. I wouldn't say that I'm obsessed. Okay, sometime I can get a little obsessed with my hobbies if it's something I really like, but generally I try to moderate it. Yeah.
Well, for example, when you're obsessed with your hobbies, how could you get out of it?
Out of it. Well, you need to recognize that. Excuse me. You need to recognize that you need to recognize the negative aspect of it. So if you are too obsessed with something, it could affect aspects of your life. For example, it could, let's say you're in school, it could affect your performance in school, lowering your grade, degrading your relationship with your teachers and friends because you're not focusing as much. So that's so you need to be able to recognize that first in order to stop it. And to stop an obsession, I'm not quite I'm not exactly a professional on that. I think it just takes time. That's in my opinion.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Alice. Next.
Do you like watch TV or play video games or go out with your friends better?
Better. I like all three of those activities, but I guess I would rather go out with my friends and socialize than watching TV or playing video games.
Okay.
All right. And I see Hoyamin, your hand is still raised. Do you have another question?
Which hobby do you do the most recently? Like watch TV or play video games or go out with your friends?
Most recently, I went out with my friend.
Oh.
Okay, so then I guess I will start asking questions. Oh, let me just stop sharing so I can get my question list on. Please give me 1 second. Okay. Now let's see. Alice, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, what is your hobby? What do you like to do?
I like to watch TV and play my keyboard.
I see. How often do you do that?
I mean, every day, but sometimes I'm too busy, so I don't.
I see. I get that. So how long have you been pursuing this hobby now? How long have you done it?
For about 2 years.
2 years. Okay. That's a decently long time. It's not too long though. So let me ask you, Alice, do you think that you can tell something about a person by their hobby? Can you tell like what kind of person they are by their hobby?
Well, I think if somebody obsessed with watching the phone, they will like not. They don't really go out, and they always look at their phone and do something on it. Or somebody that they like to read book, they always have a book on their hands, and they will never do anything without it.
I see. Thank you, Alice. Right, next. Đặng Việt Hoàng, I want to ask you a question. Đặng Việt Hoàng.
Okay, so what's my question?
Okay, your question is, okay, tell me about a hobby that you used to have, but you no longer have.
That hobby, very interesting. Yes, making stuff.
Making
But
stuff.
especially mostly from toolkits and stuff, mostly like building those robots.
I see. So, how long did you do that for? And how did
1
you
year.
1 year? And how did you get interested in it? How did you start doing it?
Not knowing it from my father.
I see. And why is it no longer your hobby?
Nah, I got disinterested in it.
I see.
Anyway, I would like to talk about that obsession thing. Technically, the person, even if a person know how bad his obsession is, unfortunately, there's always a drive for something that maybe he knows it's bad, but it does not stop him. For example, a drug addictor. Which one is bad? Let's take in a point of view of a drug addictor. To which one is bad? Drugs or having something negative in his social life?
That is true. That is true. Well, but the thing is, for drug addiction, drugs are a chemical substance that once you get addicted to them, it's very hard to live without. If you don't keep taking them, you go into relapse. And
Yep.
so when after you take drugs already, it's very difficult. That no longer counts as an obsession, because that is
That's now an addiction.
Yes, which is different. So yes, that's true. Even if someone knows that they're obsessed with something, it doesn't mean they're gonna stop doing it. And that's the choice that some people make. And they are responsible for their decisions.
Yep.
Thank you. Let's see. Hong, I want to ask you a question. Okay, so how do you think the way we spend our free time have changed over the years? So like from our parents' generation to now, how do you think people have spent their free time differently?
What is your question again?
Okay, my question is that how have the way we spend our free time changed over the years?
Maybe there's some people first they have the first hobby of theirs, and then they do another thing that their dad teaches them or their friend teach them, and they feel like interested in that, so that it's another hobby. And maybe next year or next month somebody teach another thing that they can play or another sports, then I or somebody else will feel interested in that sport.
Okay, do you think it's like the world develop, the way people spend their free time change? So for example, as technology evolves and now we have phones and things like that, do you think it changed how people spend their free time?
Yeah, there's some people that when they have technology, they just gather around and play video games and watch TV or just spend time on their phones all days like that and not spending times outside.
Okay. Alice, you raise your hand. Do you have a question? Or
Now I don't have a question.
okay, then I'll ask you a question then. So some people choose to work as little as possible to have more free time. Do you think this is positive or negative?
Could you repeat that again?
So some people choose to work as little as possible so that they can have more free time. So do you think this is positive or negative?
Well, I think it is negative because when people spend too much time in their free time, they couldn't do anything. For example, when you go to work, that day you have to go to work, but instead you stay at home and then watch TV or do something that you like. It will have you waste a lot of time, and also if you do it often, you don't have any money to survive day by day.
That is true. And so, having said that, another question I want to ask you. It is said that in order to be a complete person, one need to have a hobby. Do you agree with that statement?
I agree and I disagree by something that the thing that I agree is that yeah, you need to have a hobby, and the disagree is that we don't need to have a hobby to be a normal person, because some people they're too busy to even do the things that they love.
Thank you, Alice. Okay. Next, I want to ask Huy Phúc.
Dạ.
Okay. I have a question I want to ask you. So, tell me, okay, simple question. What are your hobby, Huy? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? Are you able to understand what I'm saying? Em có hiểu anh đang nói cái gì không?
Không.
Okay then. Well then I guess vậy thì okay, well I guess for now you can just listen. I'll call another person. Let's see.
Condos have camera. Nam, they turn on camera. They're waiting for you to call.
Yeah, Trân Lợi Phong.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a question for you. So, is your generation's lifestyle different from that of your parents?
What?
Okay. So, is your is the lifestyle from your parents' generation? So when your parents was born, when they were children, it's different from your the lifestyle of your generation now. So right now, when you're living, do you think it's different?
Yeah.
Yes, and what are the differences? What are those differences from your parents' generation and your generation? Okay, never mind. James.
Yes.
So would you like me to ask you a question, or would you like to ask me a question? Can I ask you a question then?
Yes.
So James, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
I like to play video game and watching TV.
And does anyone in your family share the same hobbies?
Yes.
Who?
My mom.
Oh, your mom share the same hobby as you. Do you often do your hobby with your mom?
Yes.
I see.
So at Saturday and Sunday, I am playing video game.
I see. Thank you, James.
Every day I play. I am watching TV.
I see. And do you think that's healthy? Never mind. Next, T, you have your hand raised, so let's see. I'll ask you a question. If you could unmute.
Yes.
Okay. So your question is that, can you give me some example that of new hobbies that can appear, that you think will appear in the future? Some new hobbies.
I think in the future there will be flying in the sky with jetpacks, making things with electronics. It's usual if it's in the future, and I don't know, build a house.
And
Yes.
how far in the future do you think they'll have to be for
So
study?
it would be like 1,000 years later because it won't be soon, like 100 years. It won't happen like that. They won't be as fast as that. I think it take about 1,000 years. Yes.
And do you think humans will survive for that long, for another 1,000 years?
Actually, I think because there are many scientific studies showing that it's about 3 or 4 more billion years that we can survive in the Earth before we go to another planet if we can. Yes.
I see. Very interesting, Joyce. Thank you. Thank you. Next, Thúy Lê.
Hello, Nam. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Let me increase my, okay. I guess I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
So, let's see. Tell me, do you believe that you can tell something about a person by their hobbies?
By another person or for me?
Yes. So, do you believe you can tell by looking at another person's hobby, you can from looking at another person's hobby, you can tell what kind of person they are.
Okay. I think yeah. I believe that it's a part of. It's hard to say that when you see someone's hobby and you say that what characteristics of them is that I think is a part of them. For example, the person who play video games or play just something on Facebook. I think they are the person who is not outcomes, and the person who want to play sport, for example, swimming or badminton. I think that person is more active.
Yes.
How do you think?
Yeah, I personally think you can tell a lot from a person just by looking at what their hobby is. I think you can tell what type of person they are. However, to get to really know a person, I think you have to look beyond just the hobbies, because maybe people's hobby can be one thing, but their personality, the real personality is actually different. So that's what I think. Thank you. Alex, you are next.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. My question for you is that, so tell me about the hobbies that you used to have but no longer have.
Like drawing.
You used to like drawing. And how long were you doing that?
I was doing it for about 3 years.
3 years, that's a long time. And how did you get interested in drawing in the first place?
Because I looked at something and I thought it's cool, so I want to draw it and show to my friends.
I see. And why do you no longer have drawing as one of your hobbies?
Because drawing is hard and sometimes I fail to draw a perfect picture.
I see. Well, there is but in my opinion, there's no such thing as a perfect picture. There's always some room for improvement, and that is just the process of being human. Nothing is perfect. But so what are some of your hobbies now?
Some of my hobbies now is playing chess.
Playing chess. Are you good at chess?
I'm not so good at chess, but I'm learning.
Yeah, but that's a good mindset. Thank you, Alex. All right, next. Didn't we?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. So didn't we? Some people choose to work as little as possible to have more free time. Do you think this is a positive or negative trend?
Negative.
And why do you think it is negative? Why do you think that's negative? You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I asked you, why do you think that's something negative? Okay, I can ask another person that question. Okay, never mind. I can ask another person that question. Wait, I mean, you also have your hand raised, so. Maybe they're not here.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Thank you. So the question is that some people choose to work as little as possible to have more free time. So is this a positive or negative trend?
I think if they use their spare time to like watch TV or do something bad, then I think it's negative. But if they use it to go out with their friends or read a book that they like, or maybe go out for a walk, then I think it's positive.
There we go. That's a different view. Thank you. And do you let's see. A good question to follow up after that. Do you think that having too much free time is a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing because if we had too much free time, then we won't know like our schedule we'll have too much free time, and sometimes we won't finish our important assignments.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And let's see. Next. Dang, I will ask you a question.
Okay, what is it?
So let's see. Okay. Do you think that your generation's lifestyle is much different from that of your parents?
Yep. As technology progress, we may have different stuff.
There we go.
For example, before this pandemic, we all know our lifestyle was was going out and buy stuff. When the pandemic came, we just sit at home and order stuff right at home.
Yes.
The new generation would most likely do everything at home.
And
do everything at home. And I do not know how much will the pandemic affect us in the future, but I'm pretty sure right now at this rate in the future, mostly instead of going out and eat, we just order stuff.
Yeah. And following up to that, What kind of new leisure activities can you see appearing in the future?
New leisure activities. Let's see. New leisure activities need to depend on what kind of technology we have developed. Like for example, the metaverse. Of course, you may feel. Of course, we can pretty sure there will be a hobby for that. But right now, we, including me, are super opposed to the idea of a virtual world. Of a virtual world already. Just remember, there's still a bunch of opposition against the metaverse. What do you?
Indeed.
So we just. I do not see them going into the metaverse as a potential future hobby with the current amount of opposition.
That is true. Taking everything going virtual, living in a virtual world.
Also, I'm gonna be extremely depressed.
That people will lose touch with reality. Wouldn't that be a shame?
Yep, I mean, there's TikTok already. Do we need to explain the metaverse when TikTok already exists?
Disgusting.
Yep.
Thank you. Alice.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Question for you. Let's see. How has the way we spend our free time changed over the years?
Over a year.
Oh, yep. Over the years, plural.
Well, I think I'll come back to the year that our parents were born. Well, when our parents were born, there's no technology or it's really low, so they spend time to play outdoors, and they play healthy sports. But nowadays we always look at our phones and our devices. That is really unhealthy for us and for our eyes.
Yes. And let's see. How do you think people spend their time differently before the pandemic and after the pandemic?
Well, in the pandemic, we spend time at home and they'll go to work and doing things that we like, or maybe we work at home. But after the pandemic, we go to school and study a lot, and we also do lots of activities now than in the pandemic.
Yeah, I agree with that. And let's see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Spotify. All right. Then I'll keep asking other people questions. Let's see. What is that? All right. See, I want to ask you a question. Sĩ Hưng, are you there?
Yes.
All right. I want to ask you a question. So let's see. Tell me, what are your hobbies?
I like to play soccer. I also like to read books.
I see. And how often do you pursue your hobby? Sĩ Hưng? Every day, I see. And how many people in your family share a hobby with you?
My mother is the one who gives me the hobby of reading books and playing soccer. I think it's from my dad, and I think my brother also likes to play soccer.
I see. Does any of your friends share your hobby?
Yes, a lot of my classmates like to read books.
I see. Thank you.
And they like to play soccer too. And most boys in my class like to play soccer.
Thank you. All right. So, yeah. So can I ask you a question, Wing?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Come up with a new question. Hobbies. So do you think that some hobbies are healthier than others?
Some hobbies are healthier than others.
Yeah, do you think that is the case?
But you mean there are different kinds of hobbies. So some of them are healthy, some of them are not.
Yeah, do you think that some of them are healthy, some of them are not? Do you think that?
Yeah, like yeah, I believe it. Like enjoy drinking, especially on the weekend. So to me, like he keep drinking. Healthy, yeah, but to be still keeping that hobby for years. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so I want to ask another person a question. Let's see. Hong-Duc, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me the hobbies of someone in your family.
Well, I don't know what my dad likes or my mom likes, but I think that my dad usually go out to drink with some friends, so I think that's what my dad hobby is. And also, he wants to like train the bird too, so I think that's what his hobby is.
I see. Thank you. And do you think, wait, never, follow-up question.
Okay.
Do you think that your dad's hobby is healthy?
There's drinking's not healthy, but I think training bird is fine.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, drinking is okay as long as you don't overdo it. So if, let's say, you drink every single day, I don't think that's very healthy.
My dad didn't really drink every day really much.
Yeah, so if he doesn't drink every single day, then that's fine.
But my friend's dad like always have a party, like every night, like drinking, like all days, but sometimes he didn't throw a party to drink.
Well, I'm not as sure about that, but yeah, thank you. All right, next, didn't we? I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay, so it is said that in order to be a complete person, one has to have a hobby. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
And why do you agree? Why do you agree?
It's a difficult question for me.
Would you like another question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so what kind of new hobbies or niche activities can you see appearing in the future?
I don't understand
Like
a
what?
little.
Like what kind of activities do you think people will be doing in the future?
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, do you understand?
Yes.
So what, okay, so basically, what type of activities do you think people will be doing in the future?
Hmm. I think swim race.
Can you repeat that?
Swimming race.
I see. Well, thank you for answering my question. Okay, let's see. Next person. Let's see. Trần Đại Phong, I want to ask you a question. If you're there. Okay, and if not, I'll focus on asking the people who have the camera on. Let's see. Let's see. Alice.
Yes.
Okay, question for you. Let's see. How do you think that a person's lifestyle affect their hobby?
Yes, because if they like to go shopping, so their favorite hobbies is shopping, and if they're like rich, I mean their favorite hobbies could be everything like shopping, playing, and lots of things. And also, if they are a nerd, they could be reading books a lot. So yeah, I think the lifestyle could affect their hobbies.
All right. I also agree with that. I think that if a person is relatively non-active, I don't think their hobby would be playing sports. It would be something else. So and yeah, that's all I have for you. Thank you, Alice.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Đặng Việt Hoàng, I want to ask you a question or two. Đặng. Yeah, okay, actually I'll ask someone else. Let's see, Alex.
Yes.
What are the hobbies of your parents? What do your parents like to do?
Learning.
Oh, I see. Is that what they usually do in their free time? Excuse me.
Yes.
I see. And what about your friends? What do they like to do?
My closest friend always like to play on the iPad.
I see. And do you ever play with your friend?
Yes.
I see. And how often do you do that? How often do you play with your friends?
Once a week.
Once a week. What are some of your hobbies then?
I like playing video games
Oh, I
with
see.
my friends.
Thank you. Let's see. Home, let's ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about a hobby that you used to have but no longer have.
Let me think. What do I usually? Oh, jumping rope.
Could you say that again?
Jumping rope.
Oh, and why do you no longer like to do it?
Because I'm interested to skate from now.
Mhm. And
Like roller skate. No, rollerblades.
yeah. And how long did you do that for?
Well, I practiced when I was 4 or 5, so it's been 4 years or 5 years, I think.
I see. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Well, James, can I ask you a question?
No.
No, I cannot ask you a question. No, it is then. Okay. Let's ask you a question.
All right, what is it?
Let's see, what is it this time? Do you think that someone can be a complete person without having a hobby?
No. A hobby technically helps them to drive. Technically help them to drive and motivate what kind of goal they're trying to do, and the goal they are interested in.
That is true, but what if let's see, what if someone can't find an interest in anything? What if nothing interests them?
That's a very interesting. I probably need to ask some psychiatrists about that one. I need to ask some psychiatrists about that one, because this one is pretty interesting. This case is very interesting. Because even who knows whether, because without an interest about what? It's the main question.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I saw someone raise their hand earlier. Yeah, I think it was you, Jessica.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. All right, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay. So how has the way we spend our free time changed over the years?
I think yes, more of my free time I used to for hanging out with my friends, and now I have changed because I have to take a lot of course in my university. Yeah, and I don't have a lot of time to go in with my friends more, and even now I don't know the reason why I didn't. That's all my.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe few last questions. Who can I ask actually? Yeah, Trang Đại Phong.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. That's some interesting question. Yeah. So, tell me how some people choose to work as little as possible to have more free time. Do you think this is positive or negative?
I think it is positive
Oh, it is positive. Why do you think it is positive?
because
Because because why do you think that is positive? Trang Đại Phong? Why do you think that is positive?
because hobbies make we feel relaxed. So we I think we need to do our hobbies in our free times, and it will make we relax.
But if you have too much free time, do you think that's a bad thing?
All right.
Not really. Why do you think that's not a bad thing?
Because if I have too much free time and I do my hobby too much, I can feel tired and we don't like to do anything.
Thank you. All right. Well, next, let's see. Well, Alice doesn't seem to be there. Let's see. I will ask you. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Let me ask you a question. Let's see. Do you think that your generation's lifestyle is much different from your parents' generation?
I think a little bit different because my parents nowadays they can achieve with the smartphone like our lifestyle. That's the reason why they know about the modern life, and sometimes they still change their mind more than the previous generation. I mean, like my grandma or grandpa lifestyle is have the big difference more my parents' lifestyle. In because sometimes when they watch the news on the YouTube, or when they talk with some people, uh, they know exactly the life is changed, and they still change their mind more than I think. Or maybe luckily because my parents understand about my life, so that's the reason why I don't think it's
It's it that's the reason why I just think it's a little bit different. That's all.
Thank you. Let's see. We're near the end now, so does anyone have a question they would like to ask me? Yep. Didn't we? Do you have a question for me?
Yes.
What is your question for me?
What hobbies do you do when you were usually small?
When I was small, well, when I was younger, some of the hobby I had was also, well, playing video games, which I still have now. I didn't exactly like to go out much when I was younger. I used to keep fish when I was younger, so I guess that was a hobby I used to have. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Chang Lai Phong, do you have a question for me?
Yes.
Yep.
What video games do you like?
Oh, I did not expect anyone to ask that to me today. And usually when someone asks me that, I'm sorry to say, but I keep it a secret. I don't like sharing that information. So I'm afraid yeah. So I can't exactly answer that question, and Ethan is not here, so I can't pass that on to him. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but yeah, that's not a question I'm going to be answering.
Okay.
Okay. So it's 3:10. I think it's a good time to discuss what topic do you guys want to do next time. Suggestions. What are the next topics? Well, the topic of next meeting. What do you guys want the next session to be about? I'm open to suggestions. Just comment it in the chat, or comment it in the chat, or just open your mic and say it to me. Okay, I got one suggestion, which is future. Right. Just some more suggestion, please. Okay, jobs or future jobs. Any something? Jobs, future jobs. Yeah, future. Famous people. Okay, I see. Anything else? Okay, so I think that maybe jobs or career would be a good topic. So I think next session we can do that. Next session will be about career and jobs. Well, if you don't have a job, well, your parent definitely have a job, so that's what we're going to be discussing about. Because I doubt for any of the younger people here have a job. So yeah, thank you for coming to today's session, everyone. And that's it for today. Thanks for coming, and bye, I guess.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Adios.
Fish on. Water. How to fast? Fast.